I have a dream of establishing Bowie City Coffee House. I can see it. It's tangible to have a coffee house that people come to that is like a coffee house, Ebenezer's that's down by Union Station in D.C. It is a church-owned coffee house, and I'm like, man, I would love to have that in Bowie City Coffee. Not just love to have it. I believe God has instilled the in me that see that to come to fruition. I have a dream of establishing Bowie City Homes, and not for me to be a realtor. I don't want that job. Well, for the church to have homes that we put people in that are in transition, either from military or they just need a house for a year or two and they pay us rent in the house. The church has homes all throughout Bowie on different levels, from a single family home to somebody who just needs a one bedroom to a multi-family home. I would love to have homes. I'd love to have a condo apartment buildings. That's Bowie City Homes. We help people find homes and find a place to go. I would love to have, I told my wife this the other day because I never told her this, and she was like, she gave me that look like a dog does when you like hear something different. Like, what? I said, I would love to have Bowie City Cuts. And she was like, what? It's like a barbershop. I would love to have a barbershop salon that we employ people. Amen. We got some hairstyles in here. We employ people from the city and we make an impact, because I know that conversations happen in salons and barbershops. They happen. And so we get some Christ-minded barbers and stylists and people in the city. That's another place to make contact with them. I would love to have Bowie City childcare. Bowie City childcare, a lot of places people need childcare. I would love for our church to have one. And last one, I would love to have for our church to have a permanent address. We love being here at Tasker, which is awesome. Thank you, Tasker. Thank you, God. But we would love to have a permanent fixture address where we are giving hope to the city. And people know they can come to this address, and there will always be hope, and there will always be love, and they will always come in, and it'll be a safe place regardless where they are. Those are dreams that I believe that God has given to me, that God's given to me for this church, because I know they're not mine, because I would have a total opposite dream. My dream was to go play college ball, and that was my dad's dream for me too, so that worked out great. Like, he didn't have to put on like that parent pressure, like, boy, you're going to be a college player. No, Dad, I want to play in the band. No, you're going to play football. I didn't have that. Me and my dad shared the same common bond of when you play in college ball. That was my dream. I had a dream to be an astronaut, a dream to be a chef, a dream to be an architect and design rides. My mom said, well, you're just going to be the next Walt Disney. It's like, you're right, Mom. That's exactly what I'm going to be. Those were my dreams, and God, he placed his dreams within me, and I gave up those dreams to chase his dreams. There's nothing wrong with having God-inspired dreams, everyone. How big and how audacious they are, there's nothing wrong with it. For the Bible says this in Acts 2:17. In the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit upon all the people, and your sons and daughters will prophesy, and your young men will see visions, and the old men will see dreams, will dream dreams. And I've been told now that I'm an old man. I've been told that several times now because I work with the football team, the high school students, and they ask how old I am, and I say, I'm 36, and their eyes look like me like, what? How old are you? I'm like, 36. They're like, dang, I didn't know you were that old. I was like, excuse me. I was like, remember this day when you say 36 is old when you turn 36. You're like, I don't feel like 36 is old. But they're like, Coach D, you're double my age. You old, bruh. I'm like, oh, my bad. I guess I am old to you. So I guess I'm dreaming dreams now. I guess I'm not looking at visions, having visions. But God gives dreams, and he gives God-sized dreams. In other words, God is still in the dream-making business. And I'm not talking about daydreaming. I'm talking about real dreaming. If you don't know the difference between daydreaming and actual God-inspired dreams, let me just help you out a little bit. A daydream is like imagining yourself winning the lottery. That's daydreaming. We used to do that when I was a firefighter. We would do that at the fire station. They would put in, when the jackpot got really big and everybody would put money in. And I'm like, can I just like ride your coattails? Do I have to put money in to win? They're like, oh, somebody was like, D, I know you're a pastor and all. I'll give you a couple million if we win. Sweet, good. Just give it to the church. And so we would daydream what we're going to do if we won the lottery or if they won the lottery. Or you may daydream about eating all the food you want and not having any negative side effects. That's a daydream. That's not reality. That's not or swapping lives with a character in a movie. Like you daydream like, man, if I was in that movie, I would, or if I was that character, I would. That's daydreaming. That's not really going to happen. Maybe you could win the lottery, but you have to play to win. That's a different topic. But that's daydreaming. But God gives us real dreams. Daydreaming is like having a very vivid imagination. There's this little boy who tells his mom, he looks out the window, he tells his mom, "Mom, there's a bear in the yard." And the mom "Wah!" Flips out, and she looks out the window, and she's painted her chest. She looks out there, she's like, "There's no bear in the yard." And he's like, She's like, "Why would you say that?" She's like, "One, I shouldn't have responded that way because there are no bears in PG County. But two, why would you tell me a story like that? Why would you say that?" And he's just looking back at his mom. She says, "I want you to go upstairs. I want you to tell God what you told me. I want you to tell God that you told me a lie." And he goes upstairs, and she's like, "Don't come down until you have told God what you told me." So he goes upstairs, and he comes right back down. And she turns around, like, What did I tell you to do?" He's like, "I talked to God." She's like, what did God say?" He said, "Well, Mom, I told God that I said there was a bear out the window, and he said, it's okay. When the first time he looked out the window, he saw a bear too. So I'm all good, Mom. I saw a bear, God saw a bear." She said, "God didn't say that, boy. God didn't tell you that." He's looking at it with his vivid imagination. He's not quite lying. And I don't know where lying, where your imagination changes over to lying. Like if I said I had an imaginary friend right now, you're like, "Diane, you have a problem." But if I was a little kid, you'd be like, "Oh, where is he? Where is he?" We're like, "Tell me what he said." I don't know where the line changes over from no, something's wrong with you. But that's the vivid imagination. That's different. That's daydreaming. No, God gives you actual, tangible dreams for you. There are some of you that actually have a dream to see the lost saved. And a specific person, a family member. Some of you really have a hard time of I gotta maybe give me a dream before, but I'm just struggling with it. I'm in a hard spot right now. I just can't feel it. I don't understand it. I don't know if I have a dream. I had this dream of starting a business. And it really was I feel like God had given me this dream, but it's kind of gone to the wayside. Or I had this dream of having a happy home, a happy marriage, or happy relationships, and that dream has faded away. Or I had this dream that I just really see God move in my life, and I just don't see it happening, and it's just fading away. And I want you to hear this morning, that for us as a church, for you, if you're in this spot, it's time to dream again. It's time to remember the dreams that God has placed within you. For if he has given it to you, he will do what he needs to do to see it come to pass. If he has given it to you, he will see that dream come through you and come to pass. So I want everybody to say this: I have a dream. And we're not going to go into the Martin Luther King speech, "I have a dream," but we all have it. Every single one of you have a dream, just like God had given Jacob a dream. And so we're going to get into the story of Joseph. Jacob is his dad. So we're going to get to a little story about it. And so we have to give a little background context. I got to turn them this way so I can see the people. All right. So let's talk about Joseph. But before that, we talk about Jacob. Everybody say hi, Jacob. Hi, Jacob. So we're doing this like we did in little school. Hi, Jacob. So this is Jacob. That's Joseph's dad. Let me tell you a little bit about Jacob. So Joseph comes from a very dysfunctional family. Anybody else got some dysfunction in their family? I'm a pastor. I got some in my family, in my family tree. There's some dysfunction. So there's some dysfunction in the family. Let me tell you the dysfunction is going on. Jacob has an uncle. His uncle is Liam, and he has 2 daughters. All right, so his uncle has 2 daughters. If his uncle has 2 daughters, those 2 daughters are his cousins. They're his cousins, all right? I know it's PG County, but we'll get there. They're his cousins. They're his cousins, okay? So his uncle has 2 daughters and his cousins. The cousins are named Leah and Rachel, all right? And Jacob wants to marry one of his cousins. Is my sister-in-law here? We won't go to the foothills. But she wants to marry his cousin. It's like, no, that's kind of weird. But Jacob is like, I love Rachel, and Rachel's the cousin he wants to marry. And he's like, I love her. So he's like, I want to marry her, and I believe, it doesn't say this in the Bible, but again, this is how I see it in my head. He's like, get out of here. No, you can't marry my daughter. No way. He's like, no. She's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I don't care. She's my cousin. I want to marry her. He's like, get out of here. I will have to hurt you. And he's like, I will work for you for free. For 7 years, I'll work for you for free if I can marry her at the end of 7 years. And I think that his uncle is like, you know what? Sure. because you're no way you're going to last 7 years. Sure, okay, that's so crazy, sure. And so Jacob does it. He works 7 years so he can marry Rachel. And I think that his uncle's like, oh, no, like I gotta be a man of my word. I gotta follow through on this. And so they come to have the celebration. He's like 7 years. He's like, all right, gonna have this big party. Have a big party. This is not in the Bible. That's how I see it. And so he brings what Jacob thinks is Rachel to his tent so they could be married to consummate the marriage. But he brings Leah. Like, he tries to trick him. He's like, oh, you're trying to marry my daughter. I'm going to give you the other one. So he gives Leah. And I think Jacob must have had a lot of drink because he didn't know the difference. So he's like, oh, sweet. Here's Rachel. But it's actually Leah. And so he consummates the marriage. Next morning, he wakes up, looks at her, like, you're not Rachel. And she's like, I know. And so they're like, oh, no. Like, so he, like, goes back to his uncle. He's like, what happened? Like, you're supposed to give me Rachel. And he's like, oh, no, you're not marrying Rachel. He's like, I want to marry her so bad, I will work another 7 years. I'll have 2 wives. I'll marry both of your daughters. And the uncle's, I don't know what's wrong with him. He said, okay, sure. So he goes back to work. And a week into him doing 7 years, God gives him Rachel. So now he's married to both of them. That's some dysfunction, okay? This is what Joseph comes out of. He has dysfunction. And then so the dad gives Rachel and Leah both a maidservant. He gives both of them as a gift, a wedding gift. He gives both of them a maidservant so I think the uncle's well off. So he gives a maidservant to both of them. So this is how we get the 12 tribes of Jacob, of Israel. It's through these 4 women. There's 4 women that Jacob ended up having children with, and their sons. 6 of them by Leah, 2 by Rachel, 2 by the other bridesmaid or maid of lady, maid and the other maid. So there's 12. And that's how we get the 12 tribes. And Jacob's name gets changed to Israel, and God changed his name to Israel. And you can read that in the Bible in Genesis 35, 36, 37, how God changes his name. We won't get into that, but that's how we get Israel. God changed his name from Jacob to Israel. So we got the 12 tribes of Israel. If that didn't happen, we would know them as the 12 tribes of Jacob. And so Israel will be called Jacob, but God changed his name. That sounds better. So that's Jacob right there. And he has a son. His name is Joseph. Everyone say, hi, Joseph. I gave you a little background. That's Joseph right there. Joseph is the first son of Rachel, who Jacob really wanted to marry. He really didn't want to marry Leah, but he wanted to marry Rachel. But he had all these children before he actually had a child with Rachel. And so it took a long, long time for Jacob to actually have a child with Rachel. And the first child born was Joseph. And so Jacob loved Joseph. He's like, yeah, I got these other sons with Leah. I got these other sons with these other women. But Rachel's who I actually wanted to be with. And so Jacob was looked upon with favor from his dad. Joseph was looked on favor from his dad with Jacob. And so that's how his son there. So he has these brothers, all these brothers. Say hi, brothers. Yeah, they're old men, older men. And bam, he has all these brothers, and this guy too. This is actually Jesus in most of the stories, but today he's one of Joseph's brothers. Just straight up, that's not Jesus right now. That's one of his brothers. Pick one. And so he has 10 older brothers, and then he has one younger brother. His name's Benjamin, and then Joseph is there. And Joseph at this time is 17 years old. In the story, Joseph is 17 years old. So if you want to look in your Bible, if you want to actually read the story, I encourage you to do so. It's from Genesis 36 to Genesis 50. You have a whole month to read it. But that's where we're going to be today and coming out of. It's Genesis chapter 37, actually, is where we pick up with the story of Joseph and what's going on here. So here's what it is. This is where the story actually picks up, like where we first introduced to Joseph. It says this in verse 2 of 37 in Genesis. It says, Joseph, a young man of 17, to tell you how old he was, 17, was tending the flock with his brothers, and he brought his father a bad report about them. All right? So Joseph, 17, his older brothers, they're all tending sheep, and some go down while they're tending sheep. It doesn't say what they did. It was a bad report. You can think of whatever they did wrong. Throwing rocks at the sheep. I don't know what they were doing. But they were doing bad things, and Joseph went and tattletale. Anybody, children tattletale on their children? You're like, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what your brother or sister did. My mom is a principal, and she's an award-winning principal, Blue Ribbon School. I get to brag on my mom. Yeah, she's killing the game in the principal game. But she's a principal, and so kids come and tattletale all the time. I've been there at the school, and so they'll run up to her like, Miss Bolding, so-and-so. She says, stop, right there. When do we tattletale? And they're like, Friday at 3:45. She's like, that's right. We only tattletale at this school at Friday at 3:45. Is it Friday? No. Is it 3:45? No. Well, you see me on Friday 3:45? You can let me know. Well, school lets out at 3:15, so they can't tattletale. So that's what she says. You tattletale at 3:45 on Fridays. Tattletale. Well, that's Joseph. Big tattletale. I'm going to tell Dad what happened. And so the brothers already kind of like don't like him. Like, they're like, you're a tattletale. You're a little snitch. Snitches get what? That's not true, but that's what kind of probably wanted to happen in there. So Joseph is that younger brother that's like that antagonist that's like, I'm a tattletale, I'm telling you, I'm going to tell Dad what you said, what you did. And so the next verse goes on and says this in verse 3. Now Israel, who is Jacob, loved Joseph more than his other sons because he had been born to him of old age. And so he made adorn for him this coat, this awesome, colorful coat. And so because he tried to have children with Rachel for a long time, but he had all these other children before he had Joseph, he's like, I'm going to make this coat. I'm going to show how special you are, Joseph. I'll make you this coat right here. So this is where we get Joseph and the technicolor of the coat and all that whole thing. This is his coat. It doesn't look too fancy, but back then, that's fancy, y'all. That's whatever, Gucci, Armani, that's fancy right there. That's a fancy coat. And so I have a fancy coat. I have a bright coat because my wife wanted to show how much she loved me and how much she adored me. And she waited all her life to marry me. She bought me this awesome coat. And so this is it right here. This is my Technicolor coat right here. I love this coat. I love this jacket. And you can see me from a mile away. I love this thing. It actually has a thing like if I was a real snowboarder and I got caught in an avalanche, it has a beacon in it. Like you can find me. Like this is, or she can find me. So this is my coat. So this is my bright and vibrant coat. People always say, woo, boy. This is my dad. Woo, boy, I can see you a mile away. That's right, because my wife loves me. And so this is my Technicolor coat. This is Joseph, his coat. And his brothers can't stand that he has a coat. Why? Because it shows privilege. It shows like some extra mile to get him this coat. And his brothers go on more and not liking their little brother. Can't stand him. So that makes them even more upset. So the story goes on. The story picks up more. We go to verse 7. 37 verse 7 says this. So Joseph is with his brothers, and he tells them, I have a dream. He tells them in verse 6, listen to this dream I had, brothers. He says this, we were binding sheaves of grain out in the fields, and suddenly all the sheaves rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it. What's up with that dream? Y'all like that dream, y'all? I don't think they like that dream. So this is what the dream happened. He's like, this is what happened. We were all out in the field, and then we were all binding up some wheat. And mine rose up really straight and tall. And then y'all did this. Y'all bow down, fools. Bow down. Bow down to Joseph. That's what happened. Y'all like that dream? They're like, I can't stand that little. And so they're like, what, you think you're going to rule over us? He was like, I'm just telling you what my dream said. Don't get all testy. Like, it's not my fault. God gave me this dream. So he's bragging about it. They're like, I can't stand this little boy. I can't stand him. He has the coat. Now he has the dream. Oh, my gosh. So then he goes on and says, I had another dream. You guys want to hear about it? Like, nope. Going to tell it to you anyway. So he has this other dream where he's like, I had the sun rose and the moon rose, and then all the stars rose as well. There's no sun and moon because I couldn't find it. And then they all bow down to me. And so this time the dad's like, whoa, Joseph. Like, it's one thing for the brothers to bow down to you. You're saying your mom and I are also going to bow down to you? He's like, Dad, all I can tell you is what my dream said. All I can tell you is what God has given me. See, Joseph had the knowledge that came from God. God had a plan, and that plan was to be carried out through Joseph as an instrument. Joseph says, I'm just receiving these dreams. I'm just telling you what my dreams saying, and it's up to you to be happy about it, to be sad about it, or be like, God bless you, Joseph. God has given you something great. Or you can be like, what his brothers did is turn their nose up to him. And they couldn't stand him even more. This made them hate him even more. My question to you is, do you have a dream? Do you have one? You say, yes, I have a dream. I have a dream to lay by the beach, sipping Mai Tais with an umbrella, and somebody bring them to me. That's my dream. Or you're like, no, my dream is to be in the mountains, to be in a hammock with my shotgun and my fishing pole, and like no one else around. Like that's my dream. Or you're like, oh, my dream is just to like go on a cruise ship and just stay on that and just be on the Love Boat for the rest of my life. Like that's my dream. We say, yeah, I got dreams I own. Like, no. I'm not talking about those kind of dreams. I'm talking about this God-received dream. Do you have a God-inspired dream? What keeps people from embracing and pursuing this God-given dream that I believe is inside of all of us? I have 5 things that I believe stops people from chasing their dream, or 5 statements or misconceptions that they have. The number 1 is, I don't have a dream. I don't have a dream. Everybody say false. Because you do have a dream. Every single one of you have a God-sized dream placed within you. Because that's how God's designed us. So it's false. You may not remember your dream. Your dream may have come when you were in your childhood. I was given a God-sized dream when I was a kid, and this is what it was. I remember clearly telling my mom, I will be a husband and I will be a father. And I was like 5 years old. My mom actually stopped. I can see it vividly. I was like, Mom, I'm going to be a husband and a father one day. She's like, you are? I'm like, yes. And I'm going to be the first one of my brothers to be one. And she's like, really? I'm like, yes, I am. I can't wait to be married. My mom was like, oh, and I was like, I can't wait to be married. I can't wait to be a dad. I was literally 5 years old. I couldn't wait. I loved how my dad was with us. I loved how my uncles were with their kids. Like, I just couldn't wait to be a dad. I couldn't wait to be a husband. That was a God-sized dream. I wasn't like, Dad, Mom, I'm going to be a G.I. Joe when I grow up. No, that's good. Like, I was like, no, I want to be a husband. I want to be a father. That was a God-given dream within me as a child. Some of us may have been given to as a child, and they're like, this is your God-given dream, but you forgot about it. It's false. You all have a dream. The next one, I have to invent my dream. I have to invent my dream. Everybody say fake news. But you have to do it like, fake news, fake news, fake news. That's not true. That's not true. You don't have to invent your own dream because God has already created one in you. He's already created one in you. Let me give you an example. And I have this bag. This was given to me by my state director. He gave it to all of us, our FCA staff. And this is a bag, seeds of watermelon. I got watermelon and cantaloupe. We all got them. And he's like, he asked everybody, what's in here? And we're like, seeds. And he's like, you're right. What do you do with seeds? You plant the seeds. And he said, what is going to come out of it? Fruit, or watermelon, or cantaloupe. That's right. He's like, now, I want you to see every seed as hundreds of other fruits. Hundreds another. And it's already inside each and every seed. You plant one seed, and it produces more fruit and more fruit and more fruit in one little seed. God, you don't have to create, God didn't have to come down and create every watermelon or every tree or he's like, you're already in you. When you are born and you're male, female, you have all the seeds inside of you to make another person. It's already there. God has given it to you. You don't have to invent. You're like, well, I want to have a kid. Let's invent one. I'll make Pinocchio, and then we'll hopefully pray that he becomes a real boy. No, you don't have to do that. God is giving you everything you need already within you to create another life. God has given you God-sized dreams already, just like a fruit that can produce more fruit and more fruit. The next one, I have a dream, but it's not that important. Everyone say, bye, Felicia. All right, some teachers some slang. That means like get out of here, like bye. So you can use that next time to somebody that you usually don't use slang. They say something, you say bye, Felicia. They're like, what? My name's not Felicia. Bye, just say it. Bye, Felicia. You already have dreams. I have dreams, but this is not important. That's not true. It's not true. It's important because God's handcrafted you. He handcrafted you into your mother's womb. You are not here on accident. Handcrafted. And so if you're that important to be handcrafted, God has put a handcrafted dream inside of you as well, just like in Joseph. All right, so I have this next one. Don't put it up yet. This next one, this is some real slangs, all right? So I'm going to teach you some what Generation Z kids are saying because I hang out with them, and so I can interpret what they're saying, what this means, all right? But it says, I have a dream, but it's up to God to make it happen, okay? Your response is, here it is. Low key, that's cap. That's John Cap, okay? All right, that's what the kids say. Low key, that's John Cap. Like, what? Okay, so I'm gonna break it down. Low key, all right, so this means not true, okay? Okay, so low key means like, really? That's what it means, really. Low key means really, okay? That's the only English word that we all understand here in this. That's Jai Cap, okay? Cap means lie. So if you hear kids say, no cap, I'm hungry. They're saying, no lie, I'm hungry. I don't understand why cap is the replacement for lie, but that's just what they say. So this says, low key, that's Jai Cap. So what he's saying, really, that's a lie, okay? You got it? I hear it all the time. Low key, I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. But God has to make it happen. Low key, Jai Cap, that's Jai Cap. Low key. God does not have to make it happen. God does not have to make it happen. You learn some slang. I want you to use this when we're teenagers. I want you to use this. Please do it. Please do it. They will be like, word? They're like, word, that's tough. You're like, what? I don't understand. I'll help you out later. But God created you to act on your dreams first. God's created you to act on your dreams. He did not give you a dream and for you to say, well, God's going to have to make it happen. He's like, no, I gave it to you for you to go and do, for you to go and pursue it. Now, we're going to open that a little more, that statement a little more. And the last one is, I have a dream, but it's too late. This is the easy one. Just say wrong. Wrong. Everyone say wrong. 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 Totally wrong. If that's totally wrong statement, because if you don't believe it, just ask Moses. At the age of 80, God called Moses to go set his people free. Like, that's to me, that's old. To some other people, like, don't say that. That's old. That's getting up there. There's no one in this room is 80. I already checked. No one in this room is 80. So, but God has called you to do, no matter how old or how young you are, he's giving you a dream. He's giving you a dream. So why did God give Joseph this dream? Why did God give Joseph these two dreams? Why? To prepare him. God gave Joseph these dreams to prepare him. Prepare him for what? For the future that was before him, the future that was to come. The dreams were to prepare him for what is to come in his life. See, your God-given dream prepares you for your future as well. Just like as a little boy, I had this God-sized dream placed within me that God gave me. I was going to be a husband and a father. And so it prepared me for my future. I thought that way. And I looked at, I told my wife when we started dating at Washington Bible College, shout out to my Washington Bible College friends that are here. I was like, look, I'm only dating one girl. I'm only kissing another. The next girl I kiss is going to be my wife. I was like, don't you kiss me unless you're going to be my wife. And she was like, well, I'm just going to kiss you. I ain't going to say I'm going to be your wife and all. So, like, when that time it did happen, she kissed me. I was like, she's going to marry me. She was like, I just got me a kiss. Like, we were not on the same page. I'm not throwing her on the bus. You can tell her. And she would be like, yeah, that's true. But I was serious. I viewed, like, my relationships, like, because I didn't want to spend any time with somebody that was not going to be my wife, though I was going to be a father of children with. That was my God-sized dream. And it prepared me for my future. See, his dreams would anoint him for his future. We're going to, as we go into the story of Joseph, his dream anointed him for his future, which is awesome. The same thing in your life. Your dream anoints you for your future. And you may be saying, I'm living my dream. You might be like me. I am living the God-sized dream he's given me. And I feel anointed. I can't get ahead of my sermon, but I feel anointed upon me because I'm living the dream God has given to me. Same thing for you. The same thing will happen for you. See, Philippians 4:13 says this in the New Living Translation, for I can do everything through Christ who has given me strength. It says this in the Message version or the MSG version, I can make it through anything in the one who makes me who I am. I can make it through anything through the one who makes me who I am. So whatever dream he has given me, I can make it because he's given it to me. God gave Joseph his dream, not just for his future, so he can say, this is what's before me. He also gave it to him for his identity. God gave Joseph his dream for his identity. See, his dad had given him an identity. His dad had set him apart. He gave him this coat, like my Under Armour coat. Gave it to him. And his brothers knew he was set apart. He knew their brothers knew how much he loved Rachel. They knew how much he loved Joseph before he got the coat. And now he gave the coat, and his identity was placed in that coat. I believe Joseph probably wore that coat until the bricks fell off that thing. He probably wore that thing like how my kids wants to wear. If he gets a new hoodie, my son, bless his heart, he will, and this is just who he is, which is awesome. We have to remind him that he has other clothes. He will wear that hoodie until the stitches fall out, until he gets another one. And he's like, oh, new one. That one goes in the closet. Right, there's a new one. He will wear a T-shirt to school, and you will never know he wore a T-shirt to school because he's going to wear that new hoodie. He loves it. He loves that thing. We're like, Jonathan, it needs to wash. Like, you can take it off and just stand up on his own because he's just going to wear it all the time. That's what, like, I believe Joseph was like, I got my coat. Like, my daddy loves me. My daddy loves me. And look how much he loves me. And look how much he doesn't love you. Like, I think he's really wrapped up into the identity of his coat. And God says, Joseph, I want your identity to be in me. I'm going to give you a dream. I'm going to give you something better than a coat. Don't let your identity be wrapped up in stuff. Don't let it be wrapped up in your car, in your homes, in your career. Don't let your identity be in who God has called you to be and the dreams he's given you to be. So Joseph, once he had that dream, locked in, like, that is who I am now. I am that. I don't know what this means, but that is me. I don't know what this means, but that's me. I don't know what it meant to be a husband and father at 5 years old, but dang on it, that was me. I'm going to be that. God had called me to be a pastor. I wanted to play football. That's all I did. Everything I did was to play football my last years in high school. That's everything. What I ate, slept, drank, where I worked, who I associated with, my calendar, all that. My identity was in football. And then God says, I'm replacing that dream you have for yourself for my dream in you. And now that's all the thing I thought about. Only thing I could think of was like, I want to be who God's called me to be. My identity was in Christ and in the dream that he's given me. So it anchors your identity. It also anchors your future as well. But it also, your God has given you dreams to reinforce your God-given purpose. He's giving you dreams to reinforce your purpose. So your purpose is to worship him. And sometimes you're like, I don't know how to do that, and I don't know my way. He's like, oh, let me give you a dream. Let me show you your purpose. Let me reinforce your purpose in you from the dreams I've given you. Joseph had a purpose. Later we will find out he is going to be the savior of his family. He is going to be the one who keeps them from ruin. That was the purpose to bring, like, God has it all planned out for it. And Joseph was like, this is your purpose, Joseph. Let me give you a dream so you know what your identity is. And let me give you a dream so you know what your future is, so you can always stay in your purpose, Joseph. And God's given all of us a God-sized dream so we can stay in our purpose, so we can be anchored in our identity in him, and we would know the future for us and not have to be like, I don't know, I don't understand what's going on. But here's the thing. Here's the catch. Here's the catch with the dream. Not everyone is going to like your dream or support it. Everyone's not going to like it. Y'all think they like Joseph's dream? Y'all find out next week. You know, we talk about the dream. The other side is the nightmare. Everyone didn't like Joseph's dream. Even his dad was like, what, Joseph? What? Even us, Joseph? It says later a little in the verse that his dad thought about it. I was like, what does that mean, though? Like, I didn't like what he said at first, but what does it actually mean? Everybody's not going to support your dream. And everybody's not going to be happy for you. When we started this church, people that I thought was going to be like first in line, nowhere to be found. And people I never thought would come and be with us are like, I'm in. I'm like, you're in and you're out? I thought you would be in, and then I don't even know you. And when I would raise support for FCA, and I have to raise my own support, and I was like, I'm sure this person, and I knew some people with some money, I'm sure they're going to give me at least $1. They were like, I ain't going to give you nothing. It's like, whoa. But then a stranger says, hey, I want to support you. I just met you, and I believe in what God's calling you to do. Here's somebody I want to support you. Everybody's not going to believe in your dream. And you know what? That's okay. Because you know what haters' jobs are to do? To hate. They're to do that. My wife, she's asked for prayer. You might have seen it. She's going through some things at school, like her job is secure, but she's going through some things, and we've been praying together about it, and we came to this realization that we've heard some podcasts and some other pastors we listen to that things are sent. Things just don't happen. Things are sent. Either support is sent or people not supporting you is sent. I'm sending you my support. Awesome. Or I'm sending you my non-support. it's being sent. And so my wife is going through some things where she's not getting some support from some parents that she wished she would have get some support from. And we start praying, we're like, that is sent. That is sent. That is not by happenstance. Like, God sends blessings, and then someone else sends curses. There's an enemy, and they are sent. There are going to be people who don't support you, just like Joseph. They couldn't stand his dream. They couldn't stand his coat, which in turn meant they couldn't stand him. Stay holding to the dream, regardless of what comes your way, regardless of how crazy your dream is. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I have a friend who truly believes that God's given him a dream that he is going to have an island, and the island will be a place where people can come and have refuge, like Christians can come, and like a resort or a ministry location. Like, God's going to give me an island, and we're going to have a place to do ministry, and people to come and relax, and people to come and be refilled. And I'm like, go for it. I'm like, that's like God giving you like the mountain. Like, that's kind of like, whoa, that's big. But for him, he's like, it's going to happen. Like, I know it. I'm like, whoa. He tells some other people, and they laugh at him. He tells some other people, and they're like, do you know somebody who owns islands? Like, how's that going to happen? You like know the person that has British Virgin Islands? They're just going to give you a Virgin Island? He's like, I don't know. But I believe God's going to give me an island. I'm like, that is awesome. It reminds me of Noah. Noah's like, I'm going to build me a boat. Like, what's a boat? Like, I don't understand. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what's an ark? I don't understand. He didn't care. He still get it. And it gave him his identity. It gave him purpose. It gave him to his future. Same thing with the dreams placed beside you. Same thing for Joseph. Same thing happens for Joseph. Same thing will happen for you. You need to surround yourself with people who support you and support your dreams, support your visions. The last thing you want is to be around some people who are always knocking you down. You need to get away from those. Get away from that negativity. Psalms 126 says this. This is an awesome verse in Psalms 126. Says this, and when the Lord brought back his exiles to Jerusalem, it was like a dream. And we were filled with laughter, and we were saying of joy. And the other nations said, what amazing thing the Lord has done for them. Yes, the Lord has done amazing things for us. What joy. Those are the kind of people you want. They come back to Jerusalem. They're so happy, and the nations around them are like, look what happened. God brought them back. Like, that's so awesome. They're like, yes, it is. Or you have people on the other side who are like, we're so happy to be back. We're like, yeah, I ain't going to be here long. What are you trying to dream that for? Y'all see how bad that city is? You want to go back to that? You'd be like, why are you shooting my dream down? Why are you trying to crush me? And as parents, we have to be careful of that too. I know I have to. When our kids say something like to us, outlandish things, like they want to be this or that. My parents never, I want to be an astronaut. Like, okay. Like, they didn't say, no, you can't be an astronaut. They're like, okay, well, let's go to Air and Space Museum and let's buy the astronaut outfit and we'll build you a rocket out of your big wheel. True story. And my dad built me a rocket. It didn't stay erect, it fell over. But he tried. He tried very hard. He's like, okay, you're going to be an astronaut. Oh, I want to be a football. Okay, let's go do it. Don't crush your children's dreams. Don't crush your husband's dreams. Don't crush your wife's dreams. Don't crush your neighbor's dream. You don't know if God sent that to him or not. You have no idea. Please be somebody to support. Here at Bowie City Church, I told the kids last night or Friday night at youth group, kind of the same thing. It wasn't Joseph, but on the same lines, that if you have something that you feel like God wants you to do, please come and tell me. Because I want to hold you up. And I'm going to say, go and do it. Go do what God's called you to do. And if it fails, at least you tried. And maybe God doesn't know exactly what he called you to do, or you had to do it a different way, or all the resources weren't there yet, or whatever it may be. Don't hold it within inside. Tell me. Church, tell me. If you're like, I really believe God's called me to do whatever, be a missionary, how can we help? How can we help? We can't be like, God didn't tell you that, or you need to go to a different church and tell someone else that dream, because that ain't happening here. That's not my style. I want to support you in what God's called you to do. Get around people to do that. Do you have peers? Do you have family? Do you have friends that encourage you, or do you have those that drag you down, like Joseph's brothers? Psalms 29:18 says this, there is no revelation people cast off restraints, but blessed is the one who heeds wisdom's instructions. The Message version says it like this, if people can't see what God is doing, they stumble all over themselves. But when they attend to what he has revealed, they are most blessed. They are the most blessed. If they can't see what God has for them, they stumble all over themselves. They can't figure it out. They're walking around in the darkness. I can't figure it out. But those who actually attend to what God is giving them, they are blessed. They are blessed. So when God is saying, go, you have this dream of giving all this money or resources or time away, and you're like, I don't know how to do it, and you're kind of stumbled. God's like, no, do it, and you will be blessed. God, I don't know if you call me to be a missionary, you call me to be this or that. Actually, he's like, look, just start walking in your dream, and you will be blessed. Joseph was blessed. It may come a long time for Joseph when we see it later this month, but Joseph was blessed. So I close with this. In closing, there's two misconceptions about dreams. I call them the comfort zone misconceptions, because dreams will get you out your comfort zone. That's what they're supposed to do. Here are the two things. Number one, since I feel fear, my dream must not be from God. Because I'm afraid. You get this thing that comes inside you. You have this vision. You have this I have it. And then right after you hit this fear. Oh, dang. That must not be from God. That's some old pizza that I had last night. That's not from God. I know, because, that's a little scary to just step out there and to do. Or when your children say, I'm not going to go do this. I'm going to go into the mission field. I'm going to go raise the support. And you're like, maybe that's not from God. So-and-so, fill in the blank. I'm going to go start my own business. I believe God has called me to do that so I can be a light in the business world and I can give to people. And he's called me on, maybe the job security of a government job is what you want. That's what you want. That's what God, I believe God has called me to go to this college, and I know it's very expensive, but I believe he wants me to be there. I just have this desire that he's going to put me there. Woo! You know how much that college costs? Oh, I'm afraid we can't pay for that. Maybe that's not what God calls you to do. It's a misconception because you got to get out of your comfort zone to pursue the God-sized dreams within you. And the last one, I can't go forward unless God takes my fear away, unless God takes away my anxiety, if God takes away my worry, if God doesn't take away my doubt. Everything has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, I can't move in the dream. It's not true. It's not true at all. When we started this church, we started this church with $0. We started this church with 4 people saying, yes, let's start. And then 8 people in my living room, and then more people. And then the numbers have gone up and down. Attendance has gone like this. And you're like, God, we can't keep doing this unless we have everything right. Unless we got the right sound system, unless we got the right systems put in place, unless we got a youth pastor, and a worship pastor, and a children's pastor, unless we got this great budget, unless we have this huge launch team. We can't start. I just have this fear, and God's like, where you see that at? Hold on, I don't see that in the book I gave you. I don't see that in the vision I gave you. I can't see that in the dream I gave you. Walk in the dream. Yes, it's going to be hard. But I know that I'm with you. I'll never leave you nor forsake you. And we get to see that God is going to move in Joseph's dream. Even when it gets when it gets horrible, when it gets bad, God is always there. My question to you still is, what dream has God given you? And most times it's more than one. Most times it's you get to this dream so you can get to that one. And get this dream so you can get to that one. Are you pursuing it? Because know this as we close, and the worship team can come up, that God did not die so you could not fulfill your dreams. Jesus did not die on a cross so you can just say, and now none of your dreams will ever come to fruition. He says, no. As we said, we have been saying the last 4 months, now we're in the 5th month, that we've been talking about freedom so much. We've been talking about grace so much because you want us to understand that God has freedom for you to do exactly what he calls you to do. No matter how crazy it might sound, you're free to do it. Because over 2,000 years ago, Jesus died on the cross for your sin, for my sin. And today we get to partake in communion of that, in remembrance of what Jesus did. And what that means for us as a church is that Jesus, on the Last Supper, the night before he died, he had his disciples around, he broke bread, and he says, take a piece of this, eat this bread in remembrance of me, of what I'm going to do. And the disciples didn't quite understand and get it, what he's talking about yet. But Jesus says, my body will be broken for you. Eat this bread in remembrance of what I did, what I'm going to do over 2,000 years ago. And then he had a cup. And Jesus took the cup and he drank it and he passed it around. He says, drink from this cup in remembrance of what I'm going to do for you, my blood that's going to be shed for you. My body is broken for you. My blood is shed for you. And this morning, we get to partake in communion. And the way we do communion here at Bowie City Church, a cup's going to come. You're going to get a cup. It's going to have juice in one cup, and stacked under it, we'll have a cup that has a wafer in it. It's gluten-free for anybody who has a gluten allergy or anything like that. But this is to be taken in remembrance of me. And I learned this from one of my professors. He says, every time you take communion, this is for you to renew your contract, renew your covenant with God in remembrance of what God did for you. So God, sign me back up. Sign me up again. God, thank you for your love. Thank you for choosing the cross. Thank you for Jesus from rising from the dead. Thank you for being the atoning sacrifice for my sin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sign me up. Re-up. That's what communion means. So you don't have to be a member of Bowie City Church partaking communion. It is free to all. We just ask you to take it reverently. If you don't choose to have communion, just let it pass. You can take it together as a family. You can take it together as a husband and wife. You can get up and say, I want to move to just a different spot in the room. And just know what Jesus did for you. Let's pray. God, we thank you for the great God you are. How much you love us, Lord. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for your mercy. And God, we thank you that over 2,000 years ago, Jesus chose the cross. You sent your only son to die for us. While we were yet still sinning, while we most likely will continue to sin, while we act like we are sinners, you died for us. We thank you for that. And Lord, as we partake in your communion, as the communion stewards come forward, Lord, bless this. Let this be a renewing mark in our lives. Let us be a place where we continue to repent from our sin. We continue to turn away from sin, Lord. And Lord, keep giving us dreams. No matter our age, from the youngest person in this room to the person who holds the oldest age in this room, give us God-sized dreams. And let us walk boldly in them. And don't care what men say. I care what you say. And that you will see it through. God, we thank you for your word. We thank you to look at Joseph's life and be encouraged by it. Let this song be worship to you and minister to us as well. Bless us in Jesus'